A lot is changing. A few years ago, getting your truck license was pretty simple. You got your passenger license, you went to a truck driving school, you passed your written test, passed your road test, and you got your Class 1 or Class A license. But over the last few years, government started asking, are we making it too easy? Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the visitor visas and international students. Now, this part got a lot of truck drivers talking. For years, people were asking, how come someone can come to Canada on a visitor's visa or a student visa and start working towards a commercial truck license? So I'll give you the scenario. A driver would fly to Canada. They would be granted 6 months, up to 6 months stay here. While they're here on a visitor visa, they were able to go and get their truck license. Now, also, a lot of people would work and open a corporation and work as a truck driver even when their status was just a visitor. And they would do that multiple times. They would go back to their country and come back and then work another 6 months and go back, and all under this Driver Inc. model. Whether you agreed with it or not, it was a huge topic in our industry because it was taking away from Canadian truck drivers. Now, a lot of this is also happening in the US, but if you want a commercial's license now here in Ontario, things have finally started to change. You now have to prove that you actually live in Ontario, that you're legally in Canada, and you're legally allowed to work in Canada. So if you're just here visiting, or if you're here on a student visa, you can no longer grab your Class 1 license. Getting a commercial's license just became a whole lot harder. Now, there's another big change coming as of January 1st, 2027. You no longer will be able to get your G license and jump straight into a Class A road test. You're gonna need to have a 6-month gap. You'll need to hold your full G license for at least 6 months. Now, some drivers like this change. Others say that driving a Honda Civic for 6 months doesn't really teach you how to drive an 80,000-pound truck. Personally, I think that's a fair debate, but what I do like is the fact that a driver that gets their G license can only apply for a Class 1 license after 6 months. It's not instant. And this is more towards the student visas. Now, why is this happening? This didn't just happen overnight. Government started finding problems within the truck driving schools. Some schools weren't even giving students all the required training. Others were issuing certificates when students hadn't completed everything they were supposed to. I mean, you've all seen the news. You see what's happening with these truck driving schools across Canada. A lot of them are getting busted that they're cutting corners. So this leads to more inspections, more paperwork, more training, and a lot more oversight on this industry, and rightfully so. Because let's not forget, these are 80,000 pounds on our highways. Now, it's not just Ontario that's changing the rules. Quebec has now mandatory training. Alberta completely changed how new Class 1 driver license get issued. British Columbia, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, they're all raising the bar. The message is pretty clear. Governments want better trained truck drivers out on the roads. Now, Canada is definitely learning a lot from the US. It's not the only country making changes. The United States has been cracking down too. They've been auditing commercial licenses, revoking licenses that were issued improperly, and tightening the rules for who can qualify for a commercial driver's license. So this isn't just a Canadian issue, it's a North American issue as a whole, with a lot more focus of who's getting behind the wheel of commercial trucks. Now, here's my opinion. I don't think anyone here in North America that has a Class 1 license has a problem with raising the standards. I mean, think about other fields. Think about becoming an electrician. Think about becoming a plumber. How many hours of training do you have to go through before you get licensed? Why is it so different in our space? Why is it so easy to get a Class 1 license in our space with such minimal hours? 120 hours? Come on, that's a joke. But here's the real problem. You can make someone wait 6 months. You can add another 20 hours of training. You can make them fill out more paperwork. But if the instructor isn't teaching properly, none of that matters. At the end of the day, the quality of the training is what makes a safe truck driver on the road. Hopefully you learned something from this video. I'm Ronan. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts, and I'll catch you in my next video.